Yeah, so I was watching the news this morning, and sure enough, all them protests devolved into rioting, cars and things like that being set on fire, Waymo being almost, shut down, but they're restricting access to like certain parts of LA, like downtown. They cannot service downtown right now. Yeah, all of this is just more of the same stuff that happened back in 2020. But it's for a different reason this time. It's because people are getting deported. Hardworking folks who don't have citizenship here are being deported. Even if they do have citizenship here, they're being deported. Um, yeah, they're rounding up people in my hometown, Long Beach. They're rounding up people in LA. It, it's not a good time right now. It's really not. I don't know if people realize that. I don't know if people realize that what they voted for when they voted for Trump, that this was going to happen. If not, wake up and smell the coffee. Come on. This is happening. This is real. A lot of folks are being affected by this right now. This is not okay. This is not what America is about. Yeah, if you don't agree with what's going on, then speak up about it. Talk about it. Don't just let it happen. I'd go out there and protest, but like I said last night, I know what happens when you try to go and protest stuff like this. It devolves into this mob mentality where, everybody starts looting and committing acts of violence, and that's not okay. That's why I don't go and protest, because you never know if it's going to start doing that, if it's going to devolve into rioting, into violence, and that's not the answer, folks. Yeah, we can protest all we like. We have the right to do that, and we can get permits and all that. But once it starts devolving into violence and rioting, looting, all of that, the protesting loses its message, and it just becomes about the violence. It just becomes about, what kind of crimes they're committing. And it just becomes more of a point for the other side to be like, see, this is why this is happening. We need to do something about this. And the National Guard, like I said, it's been deployed again. So, yeah, this stuff is not just made up. It's really happening. We're not safe. No one is safe under Trump's administration. Yeah, I mean, this is happening. It's really happening. It's not just in one isolated place either. There are other cities, there are other states that are protesting, and everything's just devolving into violence, rioting, looting, and like I said, that takes the message away of what you were protesting about. You can't just go out and protest and then start, committing acts of crime because you feel like you're not being heard. We have so many outlets to use as a platform to speak about these things. We've got Facebook, we've got TikTok, we've got Instagram, we've got Flip. There are many, many more apps out there that are using, or not using. There are many more apps out there that you can speak on these things for. Like Twitter or now X. You can make your statement. You can make your argument from there safely without jeopardizing yourself and having the possibility of being arrested because you were out protesting and you got involved with the looting, the violence, and all of the rioting. You don't have to get involved with that. You can speak from these platforms and let folks know your displeasure with this. A lot of folks are doing that right now. They're doing that on social media. They're sending messages. They're letting Trump know, hey, we don't like this. We didn't vote for this. This is not okay. A lot of people who are hardworking, who might be trying to get citizenship, are being deported, and it's affecting their businesses. I'm not saying that I support illegals. What I support is justice. What I support is access to resources that help you become a citizen. And it's not easy to become a citizen in this country. It takes a while. It takes a long time. I think one of the fastest ways to become a citizen, if you're not already, is through marriage. Getting a green card through marriage. And even that's been exploited over the years, The other way is to either become a naturalized citizen by being born here. It's just, I don't even know if that's still in effect. I heard Trump, shut that down. You cannot be considered a naturalized citizen anymore if you were born here. I don't understand how that works. So now, are we suddenly all not Americans because we were born here, or is it just applying to the affected parties here, such as Hispanic immigrants, Latinas? It's not okay. This is not okay. We can't keep encroaching on people's pursuit of happiness like this. That is what America is supposed to be about. America is a melting pot. We all came from immigrants. None of us who are here today were naturally born in America through our ancestors, unless you're Native American. More than likely, you have parents who came over many years ago, or several generations back. You have folks who were coming over to America to find and pursue a better life. They were pursuing their happiness. They were trying to escape religious oppression. And now today it's not that they're trying to escape religious oppression or trying to take our jobs or anything like that. They're doing the jobs that no one really wants to do anymore anyway. So why are we taking jobs away that no one really wants to do when there's people who do want to do them, and they are contributing to overall GDP by spending money that they made? And it's just the fact that you can't have them pay taxes. I think that's what it is. They can't pay taxes because they're not a citizen yet. Or I don't understand why this is happening so much, other than Trump just wants all the Hispanics gone, or all of the illegals that he keeps calling deplorables and criminals. Not all the immigrants are criminals and deplorable. Not all of them are. Some of them are honest and very hardworking. So I'm going to put up for the debate whether or not you support the ICE raids, or if you don't support the ICE raids, and why not, or why do you? Why is it that you're okay with this, or why is it that you're not okay with this? So yeah, this is real stuff. This is really happening. And I'm glad I'm not back in my hometown, Long Beach, because it would just trigger all those memories over again, where I'm hearing the flashbangs. The parts of the city are being quartered off, and people protesting, and then it devolves into rioting, looting, crime, acts of violence, vandalism. You can't do that stuff. You can't do that stuff and say you're protesting. You really can't. You have to take measurable steps, like Martin Luther King did, where the protests were peaceful. You didn't start, doing crazy things like letting people just commit acts of violence. You can't do that and expect your message to be heard. So, that's all I have to say right now.